So how are you going to get the body you've always wanted? How are you going to get shredded? How are you going to get abs? How are you actually going to get in the best shape of your life? How are you going to get disciplined enough to follow through with this? So many people are obsessed with the how. How are they going to do it? The tactics, the tips and tricks, the strategies. But the reality is this, and this is what I didn't understand for a very long time. It's not so much about how you're going to do something as much as it is, who are you? Are you the kind of person that can actually stay consistent enough on the journey to actually be successful? It's a law of detachment. Law of detachment basically states that in order for you to get a result, in order for you to get something that you really desire, you have to first detach from it. And the reason why is because if you're so obsessed with getting that end result, if you're so obsessed with getting ripped and getting those abs, you will not learn to love the process. You will not focus in on the process and the actions that lead you to that result. In order for you to get the result that you want, you have to detach from it. And once you detach from that result, then you can take all that energy, take all that focus and put it into actually becoming successful at the daily actions you need to take that are going to lead you to where you want to go anyways. So it's really kind of a no-brainer, but nobody thinks this way. And it's only been over this past year in 2024 that I really started to understand this concept. So I want to share it with you because everyone's always out there. There's millions of YouTube videos. There's Chat GPT. There's all these different things that teach you the strategies and the how to do something. But why is it then that we have so many people out here who are still fat, who are still overweight, who are still addicted to drinking, to porn, to all these drugs? Why is that? Is it because they don't have the information? They don't know what to do? No, bro, it's not an information problem. It's not an education problem. It's a lack of application problem. It's people not understanding how to apply the concepts. It's people not being the kind of person they need to be in order to get the result that they seek. So in order for this to work, you must detach from the process and put all your focus into the daily habits, the daily actions that you need to take. This is the biggest realization I've had. Who do you think is going to be more successful? Let's put it this way. The guy who really wants the abs, who really wants to have that lean, aesthetic looking physique, but he hates going to the gym. He hates eating healthy. He hates, manipulating and tracking his macros. Or do you think the guy that's going to be more successful will be the one who's actually focused on the process? He wants the abs too. He desires that. But he's taking all the extra energy and desire he has, detaching from that outcome and focusing on the daily process and the daily habits he needs to do. Who do you think is going to be more successful? Because I can tell you right now, from my own experience, it's going to be the guy who's focused on the daily process. Because he's going to love the process. He's going to enjoy it. And what's going to happen is, he'll be so focused on that and he'll be in such flow state with that before he knows it, he has the abs, he has the six pack, he has the muscle he wants to have because he's stayed consistent day after day after day. When you just focus on the outcome and the exterior results, the problem with that is you become so obsessed with that. And that's the easy part, right? That's easy. It's easy to visualize and imagine yourself with like an amazing six pack and a great physique, right? But the harder part is visualizing yourself doing the work, going to the gym, eating the right foods. That's the harder part. So when you're so obsessed with the outcome, which is easy, but the reality is you need to do the steps and the processes to get there, which is going to be harder. What happens is a disconnect occurs where your mind is focused on the easy, but you need to actually do the hard thing, but you don't end up ever doing it. You see what I mean? So detach yourself from that outcome, focus on the things that you need to do every single day and get good at making those things easy because you love to do them. And this is another reason why I say, get rid of the bad habits, bro, because if you have all these bad habits, if you're still watching porn, if you're still drinking alcohol, smoking weed, playing video games all day, the reality is this, it's going to be 10 times harder for you to say no to eating those calories that you're not supposed to eat today. It's going to be 10 times harder for you to say no to eating, ice cream when you should be eating protein and hitting your protein goal for the day. It's going to be 10 times harder for you to basically say no when your mind goes, I don't really feel like going to the gym today. Let's just skip that. Let's just skip that and stay home and watch some fucking Netflix. Let's watch the latest TV show. Or let's hop on Call of Duty, bro, and let's go play some Call of Duty or fucking dude. I haven't played video games in years. I honestly don't even know. What's that new one that came out? I don't know. There's like some popular new one that came out. I haven't played video games in so long. I honestly don't even know what's like popular right now. Fortnite was for a while, and then they had like Call of Duty Battlegrounds, I think, and then like something to do with like hell something or whatever. But anyways, Helldivers, that's what it was. I was trying to think of what is that new game. I hear people talking about Helldivers. So, but anyways, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever the distraction is. The thing is, if you're focused on these distractions, it's going to make it harder for you. If you're addicted to them and you can't say no, it's going to make it harder for you to say no to the things that you need to in order to get that result you want. If you want to get abs, you want to get lean, you want to get cut up, you want to build muscle, you have to be able to say no to certain things and yes to things that will help you. And if you're addicted to all these bad habits, that's not going to happen, bro, because you're not training that muscle. You haven't built that discipline. It's like you say, "Oh, I'm not going to watch porn anymore," but then you relapse. And it's like that's training you to be undisciplined. Whereas if you actually stuck to it and you quit it, that's building discipline, right? That's building discipline. It's the same thing with every other thing, alcohol, drugs, it doesn't matter what it is, okay? That's why I'm so into encouraging this, because it really does change your life. It changes the level of discipline that you can acquire and you can have in your life, because when you say no to those things, everything else becomes easy, right? When you can say no to those things, everything else becomes so much easier, because those are the things that are the hardest to say no to, because the amount of dopamine you get, the amount your brain just loves those things, and it just wants those things. And so that's basically it. You need to focus on who you are becoming and the type of man that you can become. You need to focus on detaching, the law of detachment. You need to break away from needing the result right now and focusing on that and honing in on that process. Hone in on that process, because that's what's going to do it for you, bro. That's how I got started. When I got in the gym, 2021, the end of 2021, I had taken a break for 2 years because of the C-19, the epidemic, that whole thing that went down, right? I took a break. I got back in 2021, and then 2022 was when I really got full swing. Stayed consistent through that whole year. And I started to realize the reality is this. It's going to take a while for you to reach any success in any outcome, whether it be business, whether it be with girls, whether it be with your fitness. It's going to take time, because you have to change who you are. The reason you don't have what you want right now is because you're not at that level. You're not at that vibration yet. You aren't that kind of person yet. So you have to change the person you are, and you change the person you are via the habits that you do every day and the actions that you take and your mindset. And so that's going to take time. And for you to actually follow through, if you focus on that result, that end result, and you know it's going to take time, you focus on that every single day. The problem is, it gets to be depressing, straight up, bro. Like, you get depressed focusing on the outcome. It's day after day after day. You're focusing on it. You don't have it yet. You look at yourself in the mirror. You see you're still fat, and you're like, dude, I just want abs, bro. I just want abs. But every day you see yourself, and so you don't want to wait to be happy and to feel fulfilled until you get the outcome. You want to get your fulfillment and happiness and your pride from the actions you're taking every day, working towards the outcome. Because then you can't lose, right? You cannot lose. If I take my pride and fulfillment from lifting weights I need to lift and eating the way I need to eat every day, and I know I'm moving forward, I know I'm growing, and that's where I get my sense of fulfillment, that is perfect, because then I'm going to continue that process. Whereas if I'm just so focused on the end result, it's like, bro, I'm not gonna feel fulfilled during that process, because I'm gonna always be looking for it, and it's not gonna fucking be there. You're not gonna get, a 6-pack in 7 days. It's not going to happen, no matter what these, internet marketers want to fucking try to tell you or convince you of. It's not going to happen. It's going to take more time than that. So focus on the process. Become the person who can achieve what he wants to achieve. Start to fall in love with the process. Start to love your workouts, love the counting the macros, love hitting your protein, love saying no to these things, love the level of discipline that you're cultivating as a man. And once you do that, the result will be there in no time. And that will just be a byproduct. That will just be simply a byproduct of what you've already done. And if you really want to go high level, now I'm not expecting you to really understand this, because this is going to be something that you understand once you get the thing you want. We all start off wanting the more superficial thing, right? We all start off wanting the abs, wanting the body, wanting the girls, wanting the money. But when you actually start to acquire those things, the reality is, once you start to get those results, they're a byproduct of what you've become. And so you actually start to take more pride and more fulfillment and more happiness from your day-to-day actions that you take and the habits that you've built and the person you've become than the result itself. So the result is just a byproduct, and you're like, oh yeah, it's nice to have abs, but I actually really enjoy just going to the gym. I really enjoy just eating healthy. I enjoy just being disciplined. So it's crazy. It's like, it's mind-blowing, because the fulfillment and the reward actually becomes the work. So the reward that you get actually becomes the work, and then the result you've been seeking, the abs, just becomes a byproduct. So that's the biggest advice that I can give you. It doesn't come down to the tactics. It doesn't come down to all these things. We all know these things. We all know them. The reason why so many people are obese and fat still in the United States, all across the world, is because of the fact they have not created a different self-image. They haven't changed their self-image. They're the same fucking person, and they haven't changed their habits. They haven't changed their behaviors, and they're undisciplined as fuck. So the reality is, if you don't want to be those people, stop doing what they're doing. Don't do what the masses are doing, because you'll end up just like them. Okay? Take a different path. Become that man who's disciplined. Become that man who cuts out his bad habits. Become that man who falls in love with his process. Become that man that falls in love with becoming the type of guy who can literally accomplish anything because he's got such a high level of discipline, and he's practicing the law of detachment, and he doesn't need the outcome. The outcome is great. That's awesome. It's a byproduct, but he just loves the process. He just loves the work. So if you can do that, then I can basically guarantee that you'll be able to achieve anything you want, and especially you'll be able to get your dream physique.